Mahamunaye Soha Tayata Om Mune Mune 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 Mahamunaye Soha. Rob Lingjin and Gyam Padi Sangye Jingdu Mete Buai
Yoga Namda Jinla Jubarai Jo Guru Rana Mendala Gamne Yadaya Emi. So, as far as concerned with the verses from the text, we have completed up to now. We have completed the preparatory teaching on the three capable beings. The brief introduction on three capable beings path. Then specifically focus on the main body practice of the Dharma, especially the Mahayanic teaching, which is on bodhicitta. And when it comes to teaching on bodhicitta, the main focus is to learn about the two. Of course, first learn the definition of bodhicitta, then the techniques how to develop that. There's such as 7 causes effect for self-exchanging with other. Then also learn about how to take the Bodhisattva vow, the importance of generating bodhicitta, taking the Bodhisattva precepts. So very much covered up to now, but maybe it would be beneficial to just briefly mention about the 18 root vows, which is the main precept you start to practice after you take the engaging Bodhisattva vow. So after you take the aspiring Bodhisattva vow, which is very much taking the commitment to from now on, whatever actions that you do, you will very much infused by bodhicitta intention. Whatever you do in your life, very much in dedication, so bringing benefit to the numberless sentient beings, all the way up to their enlightened benefit. So when you commit to, when you take the commitment to do that, you take the aspiring Bodhisattva vow. And when you take the engaging Bodhisattva vow, is very much you are taking commitment to live in the practice of six paramita. Then on top of that, you add one more, which is the even the practice of six paramita is to be directed to be in the service of sentient being. Taking the six paramita as a tool to serve the sentient being. So that add up number 7. But if you elaborate that slightly more, then there's 18 root vows and 46 secondary vows. So 46 secondary vows get into more detail of the 18 root vows. As long as you know the 18 root vows and you preserve that, the secondary vows are naturally observed. So the first one from the 18 root vows is praising oneself and belittling others. So not to, you can praise yourself, but not in the cause of harming or belittling others. So nothing wrong acknowledging your own talent, and especially acknowledging your true nature as a Buddha nature, and especially someone practicing deity yoga, then your identity is sameness as a deity, sameness as a guru. So acknowledging that, expressing that, introducing that to your own recognition of who you are. So that is beneficial. That's okay, But in our in some in a worldly way, sometimes you praise yourself to look down on others or see limitation in others. So that's not supposed to. So praise oneself and belittling others. So you have to overcome that. Second one is not sharing with others one's wealth and the Dharma. So if you have excess material, wealth, and if someone is destitute of those needs, then you try your best to share with others. Then if you have Dharma knowledge, if someone requests you to share your wisdom, then you should share them, so cannot miserly about that. So it's all I'm talking about in your very best to practice. Then the third one is not forgiving even when others apologize. So this is something that have to take effect immediately when someone even cause serious harm to you, but when they understand their mistake, they come to you to ask forgiveness. Immediately has to forgive. So that's also one of the Bodhisattva's practice. So forgiving of others' wrongdoing is not something acknowledging others' wrongdoing as a right. Forgiving practice is so beneficial, especially to yourself, to be free from the bondage of that grudge, that suffering. The moment you let go, by understanding there's no benefit out of grasping onto it. That itself is a liberation for your own benefit, liberating from that suffering. There's one time I visited Israel, invited by our study group, Shantideva study group. So they engage with the group organization called Combatant of Peace. So they encouraged me to meet up with this Combatant of Peace. There's a group of people, ex-army from Israel side as well as Palestinian side, and asked me to contribute, for their peace, for their peace work. They usually have a quite a rare visitor from outside, then especially far away from Himalayas or Tibet, like that. So they show respect that I'm kind of from Himalaya, from Tibet, which is I'm from, but then they regard is quite significant, quite precious, and especially whatever we practice very much in accordance with the guidance of His Holiness. Then His Holiness is a symbol of peace. But then they told me that the meeting where they're going to held is going to be quite a tough place. So I don't know, maybe it's in Gaza, or I don't know, must be. So I need to cross the border. There's one border. This is usually they have a lot of crisis there, a lot of bombing, suicide bombers, and even from the fence, from this side throw stone, from other side throw stones, etc., etc. So so I show some interest in that, and interest to be part of this meeting, but they warn me, are you ready, because you never know what will happen. Even though they organize a very quite extensive army, police guards. So anyway, that's a long story. So that time I saw about 5-10 minutes before we arrived to that one particular place, there's one car bomb up, one car blown up, and two young soldiers died right there. So it was quite intense. So again, right there, says, are you still okay to go? So I say they can be even more and more intense. So I say, yeah, why not? We go. I say, I don't think I have a karma to get into that trouble. I say, I think maybe we can go. So we went. And there's a place after they cross the border, and it's a quite an intense place. So then I meet the people, and there are two persons who really hard touch me, and really display the big heart, compassionate heart, forgiving heart. And especially practice of forgiveness is really possible, even how the situation intense may be. So there's one guy from the Israeli side. There's one ex-army. When he was fighting, he killed the daughter of one Palestinian man who is also an ex-army. And now both of them are in the same room. And now this Palestinian guy, he expressed that he forgive the guy right in front of me who killed my daughter in front of my eye. He said forgiving is I'm not acknowledging that action is right, but forgiving is I'm liberating myself from the suffering of the bondage of that grudge. So amazing. And he is expressing that from depth of his heart. And now, they even go to each other's, if opportunity, go to each other's home and share a meal. So able to forgive someone that who shot your daughter in front of your eye, that's really amazing, isn't it? And his meaning is to liberate himself from the suffering, the bondage that he carries. So so this is a great teaching. So there's one little footage, I think nowadays, just few months ago, they circulate around. I don't know the name of the footage, but there's one video going around. So there you will see how this guy, expressing his forgiveness is a very, very deep teaching. I cannot even imitate. And the way he says is like so heart touching, so real. Yeah. So there is so much suffering that we go through because of we are unable to forgive others' mistake or forgive others' wrongdoing towards you. Unnecessary sufferings that we have to suffer. That such suffering goes through in between relationships, husband and wife, children and parents, and among friends, and in bigger scale, nation to nation. All these fightings are, of course, ego grasping, ignorant, and certain acts. Most of the acts are because of unable to understand the meaning of forgiveness, and they just want to retaliate. Then the situation get worse and worse in the world like that. Then the fourth one is doubting and denying the doctrines of the great vehicle. So even about the teaching on bodhicitta, practice on great compassion, if we don't think carefully, learn it is characteristic, as well as through the examples, of the past learners, and especially the present time living practitioners like His Holiness, like Jabja Lama Subrahmachari, and like many of you. You need to learn about that, and make us convinced this such practice is valuable, and such practice is able to practice. So sometimes there's a danger of thinking, the practice of bodhicitta, practice of great compassion, unconditional love, all this maybe just sound nice in the word, but maybe in actual practice there's no way can practice, no one can practice, no one have practice. We may have that doubt. So this is talking about not to doubt like that. If you are not convinced yet, then research it. You research, and you will find hundreds and hundreds of examples, who are living in such practices, and you carry the same potential, and you can too practice. Then taking offering intended to the triple gems. So you see, there's certain things that we offer dedicated to the statues, to the scriptures, to the stupas, or in the course of preservation of Buddha Dhamma Sangha, then we cannot misuse them, or we cannot use for our own personal individual purposes or worldly purposes. So this is, this we normally won't commit. Only those of the ritual assistants, the temple keepers, they are more danger to commit all this, or the attendants of the masters, or the manager of the monasteries, They are more danger, but for other people, not so possible to commit this transgression. Then the number 6, abandoning the Dharma through sectarism. Then, even though you are practicing Mahayanic Dharma, then you see limitations in Theravadan teachings, and you criticize them, or you neglect them, disrespect them. So then, as a Mahayanic practitioner, you commit transgression as a Bodhisattva practitioner. So, as a Bodhisattva, as a Mahayanic practitioner, you need to preserve entire 84,000 teachings of Buddha, entire teachings of the 3 yanas. The certain teaching you categorize as a preliminary teaching to your main body practice of bodhicitta. Certain teaching you take as a main body practice, like practice of 6 perfection, etc. Great compassion, great love. Then, such as the practice of Four Noble Truth, practice of True Truth, practice of Eightfold Path, practice of Refuge, practice of 10 virtues, practice of Vinaya. All this you regard as a preliminary practice to the main body practice of the Mahayana Dharma. Earlier we talked about in one of the verse, the best foundation to actualize Bodhisattva vow is the 7 kind of individual liberation vow. 7 kind of individual liberation vows are the main practice of Vinaya, or main practice of Sutra. It's not a main body practice of the Mahayanic practitioner. But without that, even main body practice bodhicitta won't able to practice. So therefore, those individual liberation precepts, or the practices that introduced from Hinayana Dharma, serve as a foundation, or serve as a preliminary practice. Then Bodhisattva's teachings, the Mahayanic teaching, as a main body practice. Then Tantra not necessarily will fit in the main body practice for most of the initial Mahayanic practitioners. Even in our common world, the huge number, or the majority of the Mahayanic Buddhist practitioners are Mahayanic Sutrayana practitioner, not a Tantrayana practitioner. Like in China, most of the Southeast Asian country, most of the Mahayanic practitioners are Sutric practitioner. We call Chinese Mahayana, mostly Sutric, you see. So the comparison of the number, the practitioner in Chinese Mahayana and the Himalayan Buddhists in Tibet and Nepal and India, Himalayas, so little, and those of the practitioner in Tibet and Himalayas, those are Vajrayana practitioner. Their main focus practice, namely, is Vajrayana, but main body practice is still Mahayanic, the common path, which is bodhicitta. The bodhicitta is a common path to Tantrayana and Mahayana. Tantra is uncommon path to the Tantra, not common to the Mahayana. Now you see. So therefore, as a Mahayanic practitioner, whether you are from Chinese Mahayanic culture or not, one thing need to understand is Tantra is not to be abandoned, not to be adopted. Tantra is to be adopted as a resultant practice. Those of the Vinaya and Vinaya Sutric practice, that which mainly preserved by Sri Lankan Buddhists, Thai Buddhists, also quite a large, in the Indian Buddhists, their main body practice is Vinaya and Vinaya Sutra, like such as Eightfold Path, Four Noble Truth. These are the main practice. So you say I'm Mahayanis, so they are Hinayana. So it is not part of my practice. So as a Mahayana practitioner, we're not supposed to think like that, not supposed to say like that. For someone who really know the teachings of the Mahayana, then every single 84,000 teaching serve condition to develop your main body practice of bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness. All are resources for enlightenment. Tibet, it did occur when they practice Tantra, then, the sutric path is not necessary, and Vinaya is not necessary. Also, it happened in India, especially after Buddha passed away, during the period until Nagarjuna came into existence within 400 years after Buddha passed away. The Mahayanic practice, mainly dominated by Hinayana practice. Then the Mahayanic practitioners, Mahayanic teachings, or the Sanskrit teaching that Buddha revealed is regarded as invalid. They even say that Mahayana is like a flower in the sky, meaning there's no flower in the sky, isn't it? So these are very heavy karma of abandoning Dharma, especially as someone following the Tibetan Mahayana Buddhists, then to follow the attitude of the Kadampa masters like Atisha, Geshe Tenzin Zopa, Lama Atisha, they are Kadampa masters. For them, every single word, they see the meaning of entire complete Dharma. In every single letter, they see the essence of that letter going to interpret is emptiness, is altruism. That's what it means. Kadampa. Kadampa means, see the whole teaching in every single letter, or every single representations of the Buddha. So that's the best attitude. Then the number 7, causing an ordained person to disrobe. As a lay practitioner, or even an ordained practitioner, as an ordained practitioner who is practicing bodhicitta, then you have to, number 1, you have to guard the ordination vows. Or since you say, I have Bodhisattva vow, which is higher than individual liberation vow, now I disregard, or now I neglect the Vinaya monastery vow. So that's wrong. You see. So as a Bodhisattva practitioner, you have to guard monastery vow even greater than before you become the follower of the Mahayanic path. You see. Again, in the past, and also in a certain teaching, they emphasize the compassion or the bodhicitta surpass all the other precepts. So there are certain Vinaya precepts. It is quite inconvenient to directly engage in elevating problems of other, elevating like danger of other living beings. So, an example in the Vinaya Sutra, the Sangha, say they cannot touch the lower part of the body of opposite sex. But then if there's a big river that if you are a monk, Vinaya monk, then one lady or nun or lay lady is like taken away by the flood, then you cannot say that I have this vow not to go and grab her. You have to choose the Bodhisattva precept. Bodhisattva precept is, as far as concerned when someone is in trouble, it's your duty to go and rescue. So you say here, you need to let go of the Vinaya precept, and you have to take the Bodhisattva precept to practice. And some, they didn't interpret well, they misunderstand, they until they get disrupted. It happens. I say, once I have the high vow Bodhisattva, then Vinaya vow is not necessary. So that's like that. So as a lay person, lay practitioner of the Bodhisattva follower, then you need to practice even higher respect to the Sangha, higher value to the Sangha. You value their existence, Sangha's existence, the monks and nuns' existence. So more the respect you show, it limit the danger of the worldly interaction. Conditioning to disrobe, or conditioning to disrobe. You see. So therefore, when we see monks and nuns, of course, the monks and nuns are regarded as a pose of the Buddha. And monks and nuns are a pose of the Buddha because of they carry the precept that Buddha treasured. They are the preserver of the precepts that Buddha have treasured. Especially fully ordained Sangha means the precept that fully ordained ordinary Sangha have equal to the higher precept that what Buddha has. Buddha also don't have higher precept than the fully ordained precept that one ordinary person observe. So because of the precept, then you offer so respect to the Sangha. It's not about the person, it's about the precept, that highlight the person's being. So sanghas, some are little sangha, some are naughty, some are very disciplined. If you go in a monastic environment, you will see all sort of sangha from outwardly. But one thing for our own benefit of practice is regard everybody as a child of Buddha. From their side, there may be varieties, you see, because the certain sangha, they are enlightened being, and in order to inspire or in order to serve the preservation of Dharma, so they reincarnate, choose the reincarnation to become a sangha. There are certain sangha, they carry high merit. They are not enlightened being, but they carry high merit from the past lifetime, and they somehow land in the environment where they are inspired to be sangha. But there are also sangha that which culturally force them to become a monk or nun. Like in my hometown, and maybe in Tibet also, but in my hometown, if you have 3 sons, then the middle son has to be monk. If you have 3 daughters, then the middle daughter to be nun. And also we have the culture that the best child is to be monk or nun. That's why I share the story about my father. I was the worst child. That's why he don't want me to become monk. So there's so many reasons why I'm the worst one. And my brother, who is now working in the family, who's a householder, he was the most treasured, most loved child. And my father used to ask him to become monk, and he said, "No, I don't want to become monk, because why I should become monk? I'm so happy here. I have all the love." Then sometimes he also say, "I want to drink." It's so little. He said, "I don't want to become monk. I want to drink." So here someone said, "I want to become monk." They say, "No." And literally my father used to say, "You are born to carry the lineage of my suffering." Holdings and all the trouble, I receive. I think he himself really going through so much suffering, So usually my mother and me is the one that who pour all the scoldings, or mainly me. And so anyway, yeah, so he's my guru, as I mentioned before. Yes. So yes. But then the individual, the child, they may, and most of the time, the monks and nuns are ordained when they were little age. Minimum age is 7. And then exceptional is to the reincarnate lamas. Some of them they even enthrone like 2 years old, like Eastern Dalai Lama, and many lamas. They enthrone below 7 years old. But common children, the minimum age is 7. So then they don't understand the life there. Then when their hormone hijack them when they're teenage, then they start to see not the sangha life is not happy. Maybe life would be much more happier with a girlfriend, boyfriend, have children, have family, have job, maybe, so many we think like that. So then they leave the monastery, also happens. So this category of monks and nuns can be quite naughty. They can become quite rebellious. Yeah, even in the monastery, you say, I didn't choose to be a monk, so who cares? So I behave like that. So sometimes it can be, how come monk behave like that, nun behave like that? So this kind of monks and nuns could be in that category. You see, then there's also monks and nuns that because of their no means of education in the lay life, there's no means of financial support, financial comfortableness in lay life. So in some case they don't even have so many children in the family. The family don't even have enough food to feed. So they kind of forced to send their children to the monastery, because monastery provide education, shelter, clothes, foods, everything. So it's almost like free education, free food, free lodging. So the child may not have interest at all, but parents push them there, and from there sudden turn out their karma ripen, become unbelievable great beings. But sudden they really cannot keep up. They just give up, and some can be supremely naughty, more undisciplined, and in a very destructive world like that. You see, so therefore when you meet monks or nuns, you never know whom you are interacting with. So therefore sometimes if they are just waiting for the condition to disrobe or give out the monastery, then your closeness sometimes may be the condition. So the best is always like show so much respect, even like instead of handshaking, hugging, you put prostration. Then never have this like ordinary jokes, like always discuss dharma. Even they discussing worldly way, you discuss dharma, you ask dharma questions. Then from your heart you see all of them are pores of Buddha. Not to make judgment based on their behavior. It's all of them are pores of Buddha. In the Vinaya Sutra it says that if there's a four sangha there, and one is definitely arhat. So if there's a four sangha, here is four, so you never know who is arhat. We see them ordinary way, but we really don't know who is arhat. So this is a great practice, to protect our mind, and also to honor the value of the vow. So so that way, then if there's that way will help to protect the sangha to live in their precepts, and also for us not to rather contribute to their preservation of vow than disrobing is talking about that. I find to handle mischievous people is the best is to show so much respect. I remember in Sarah, Sarah is, we call it like oceans of sangha environment, like ocean, like that. So when we talk about ocean, there are precious gems also there are poisonous snakes also there, poisonous fishes also there, isn't it? So some can be quite disturbing, like when many of you go to college, the college environment can be quite intense, isn't it? Some very nice to you, some just make you a lot of trouble to you, isn't it? So we also have that in monastery. So I realized that the people who disturbing you show so much respect, they give up on you. Instead of try to like kind of I can fight with you, it doesn't work. I really get into a fight. So rather the moment the troublemaker coming is like Buddha, So like that, then they go away. So maybe maybe that works, maybe in other area too. Okay. Then committing the 5 heinous crime, killing father, mother, arahats. Then you condition or cause to segregate the communities, sangha communities. So again, sangha community, not just a community of monastic community. As long as there's a genuine practitioners of dharma, group of people, they are also sangha. So we cannot. We have to be mindful of conditioning to separation or misunderstanding between groups. Then holding distorted view. So holding distorted view is talking about the view that not asserting or not accepting karmic law, cause and effect, not accepting or understanding the refuge object, like Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, etc., like that. And denying places such as destroying in places such as towns. So so cannot involve in such, so meaning cannot involve in war, violence. Then 11 is a teaching emptiness, voidness to those untrained. So because emptiness teaching, if you teach, you have to teach label of the listener. If you just introduce the voidness, then that can lead to a misunderstanding, that can lead to a nihilism. And through teaching of emptiness, you establish nihilism in someone's view, then that create a very, very huge obstacle for their spiritual path. So one is because of that. The another way is also, if you don't teach skillfully the emptiness, listener can get into a fear. Again, because of conclude in nihilism, falls into nihilism because of that. Even in Buddha's time, some of his monks reveal the emptiness, and certain disciples get almost like heart attack. So then Buddha says, cannot. You have to be skillful. Even though it's the most profound teaching, but you have to. The listener has to be ripened. Then the number 12 is discouraging others from seeking full enlightenment. So you have to, opposite of that, have to encourage others for enlightenment. Never discourage. So you see, we as a practitioner of Mahayana, practitioner of Bodhicitta, so in the society we misbehave, the way how we talk, the way how we physically behave, the way how we think, it is is not up to the principle of the bodhicitta or compassion, or principle of the dharma, which carrying the correct view of interdependent, interconnectedness, attitude of love and compassion, basic. So if we misbehave, this will discourage others, especially if we carry the name, like I'm a practitioner of Mahayana, but act worse than those who never practice, then that will discourage them learning the Mahayanic teaching or practicing bodhicitta. So even in the family, if we are, first of all, among the family, if you are the Dhamma practitioner, we definitely have to be mindful to be better than rest of the other family members, the way how we speak, the way how act, and the way how we think, and the way how we handle when any situation arises, like a difficult situation arises, the calmness, the positivity, good things comes in your way, the humbleness, the humility, but in the family you are the practitioner, but you freak out the first, you are the one who get most disturbed. Then how to inspire others, isn't it? So that goes with among your friends. Sometimes we learn the benefit of the teaching of bodhicitta or the dharma, but we never really live in the practice, and we ask others to practice dharma. So people think that it's contradictory. If I practice dharma, if I become like you, no, so each time when our friends and families reunite or meet, each time from spiritual retreats, dharma courses, dharma practices, they need to feel and see and witness that you are much more calmer than last time, you are much more gentle than last time, you are much more forgiving than last time, much more tolerant than last time, much more kinder than last time, much more respectful than last time, and much more positivities, even about energy, even in your present is much more positive than last time. So this is our duty. This is, yeah, if we cannot improve ourselves like that, then we cannot lead a sentient being on the path, you see. So therefore Lama Tsongkhapa said, without subduing yourself, no way you're able to subdue others. So really seriously have to live in our very best in the practice. Otherwise just accumulate the word, then not much meaning. So this is everyone's responsibility as a practitioner. Then causing others to break pratimoksha vows. So again, is a very, like, causing others to break refuge vows, lay vows, the sangha vows, similar. Then any precepts, we have to be mindful not to condition that. Then belittling those who follow the path of individual liberation path, those of the, like, Hinayana practitioners, like solitary practitioner, hearers practitioner, or the practitioners of Pali, as a Mayani, Chinese Mahayana, as well as the Vajrayana. They follow the Buddha's teaching, that which revealed from Sanskrit. Then the tradition in Sri Lanka, Thailand, mainly follow the Pali, the teaching the Buddha taught in Pali. And in the past, the language, the name it uses, Hinayana Mahayana, but His Holiness, recently, or quite some time ago, but recently he emphasized very strongly that not to use the term Theravada and Mahayana, rather to use the term Pali tradition and Sanskrit tradition. So the Chinese Buddhists and Tibetan Buddhists are called as a Sanskrit tradition followers, and Tibetan Buddhist tradition is specifically highlighted by, say, follower of the Nalanda tradition, which has the element of philosophy, the philosophical way of studying. So they call Nalanda tradition. So then rest of the other tradition labeled as a Pali tradition. So because Hinayana Mahayana, it sounds like superior and lower. So that again can create misunderstanding, I think, because of that. Then the 15 is proclaiming false realization, such as realization of emptiness. So this is one of very heavy one. You see, Dharma realizations is not like the qualification that we normally earn from, the the conventional institutions, and introduction of our achievement, our spiritual realization, spiritual practices, cannot include in our CV. You got CV, isn't it? Yeah. So it's not cannot put in CV. So if you put in CV, there's a danger of breaking this precept. So even you have realization of emptiness, you don't have to say that I don't have, but you cannot say I have. If you have a tantric realizations, also you cannot say I have this realization, that realization. One of the main reason is that intrude into the samaya, so that your samaya will be contaminated by the non-samaya elements, and that become obstacle. Is because of that. It's not because you cannot reveal the truth. And another thing is, reason is to practice humility, because the main negation is ego. The ego-centered heart is the main object to be eliminated by the purpose of practicing dharma. So dharma are the antidote to the ego-centered mind. So when you have realizations, and when you claim it, there's a danger of boosting ego. Even could be that reason also. The main reason is not to get intrusion of non-samaya into samaya, because that become obstacle to the progress of the path. Main thing is that. Then another reason is not to misuse those qualifications, to get job, to draw disciples, to make others to make offerings, make others to serve you. There's a danger of misuse when so as a dharma practitioner, our responsibility is to serve others. If others serve you, when you have the intake of practice, is their benefit. But as a practitioner, we cannot expect others' service. We cannot expect others' veneration. We cannot expect others' offerings. You see. So, and also, then we may think, if we introduce realizations to the audience, then more audience will be benefited following you. You may think like that, but it's not true. It doesn't work that way. Is again, there should be a great player of the karma, and great play of the condition that the pursuer of the dharma gathered. The sincerity has to be there, wholeheartedness has to be there in order to receive the benefit of dharma. So for that, if you truly want to receive dharma, then you don't mind to search, crossing mountain after mountains, miles after miles, can challenge, how heavy challenges they may be, also you will overcome, and you will come to receive the dharma. You see. Then then the benefit of the dharma is directly hits your heart, directly purifies our karma, directly enhance our merits. So otherwise, there's even danger of dharma becoming pollution if we don't carry correct motivation. That's why at the beginning of each teaching, to set the correct motivation is not to dharma to become a pollution to our mind. So if dharma become pollution to our mind, then it's like water supposed to like extinguish the fire, then the water itself went on fire, so nothing can extinguish fire. So it become like that. So so very much the realization to be understood from the living example. You can express you can express the Dharma realization inspire for the purpose of inspiring others is through your living example. You live and accordingly with the practice, you know. Then so that will you know, that's the best way to introduce your qualities, you know. So like that. So especially emptiness, you know. What's say? Because compared to other Dharma practices or Dharma experience, the experience of emptiness, you know, easily can be misinterpreted or easily misapprehend. You know, certain people, they easily feel like lost, completely void of everything, and they thought that's emptiness, and they claim, I realize emptiness. You know, some individual feel so easy to fall into nihilism, feel good also. You know, it's like that helps to stop the suffering, that help to stop emotions, that help to stop relationship with everything, and you tends to feel good, and you hang over there, you like space out there, and start to claim that is the realization on emptiness. You see, if you actually realize the realization on the direct, if you actually realize the real emptiness, in fact, you know, you get greater wisdom, greater mindfulness, greater alertness. You know, then, and also it shines in our existence. You know, like losing of graspings. You know, your glow start to gain. You know, so without even mentioning, you know, others can able to establish the conviction that you have realized emptiness like that. Then the number 16, accepting gift of what has been seized from the triple gem. If there's anything that stolen from temple, or that part of the holy object, then you receive that as a gift, then, you know, not to be accepted. You know, and also not to indulge in that. You know, you take something from holy object, then you give to someone to you know, for material purpose or for worldly concern. So it's not supposed to do that. Then the number 17, praising false judgment. Yeah. So then number 18 is giving up bodhicitta. Giving up bodhicitta. So the number 9 and the number 18. So in order to break these 18 root vows, you know, there's 4 binding factors has to complete there. Otherwise, you know, it won't. But then number 9, which is holding distorted view, and number 18, giving up bodhicitta, then no need the 4 binding conditions. You know, just letting go of bodhicitta, you transgress. Just holding the distorted view, you know, you transgress the Buddhist vow. So the 4 binding factors are not regarding breaking of these vows as a detrimental. You know, disregarding. You see, also not regarding breaking of these vows as a detrimental. That's the first one. Second one is not forsaking wish to repeat such behavior. Third one is delighting and taking pleasure in them, you know, breaking those vows. Fourth one is having no shame or consideration of breaking those vows. So those are the 4 conditions. So I think from that point of view, it's quite hard to break the vows for us, isn't it? Huh? The first condition is not regarding breaking of these vows as a detrimental. We definitely have a heart that these vows are precious and no, I shouldn't break them. You have this you will uphold these values, isn't it? Even unintentionally break them, but you don't hold that heart. So that's why not easy to break. Then second condition, we have a party, we won't do that, isn't it? So you will have a sense of regret, sense of acknowledging that's a mistake, and so therefore the third condition also very difficult to come together. Then fourth one is having shame or consideration of breaking this vow. You will really remorse and you will find a way to restore it. You will not just live carelessly. So therefore, even you take the 18 root vows or 46 secondary vows, so difficult to break. So difficult to break. So have a courage to take it. So I need to sell as much as I can. And all benefit is mine. If I able to sell to one person, you practice bodhicitta, Buddhist vow, oh no, I can. Then after that, I can go to sleep. Without doing anything, I will receive abundance of merit. I will be riches in merits, and because of so many people practicing the precept. You see, so. Okay, thank you. So then afternoon, yes, question answer. Then if we have more time, then we will move on to the shamatha concentration chapter. Then hopefully we will finish that today. So tomorrow we can dedicate full time for the emptiness. Okay, thank you. Shin Beji Joshin Mendo Dram Rirab Leshin Yende Gyambadi Sanje Shindu Mide Bewaye Dugu Namda Shinla Shubarai Shu Guru Rana Mendala Gamniya Daya Me. So do full offering. Omo Ahum, Omo Ahum, Omo Ahum. Lama Zanje Lama Ju, Deje Lama Gendu De, Gunje Chebo Lama De, Lama Namla Chubai Bu, Omo Ahum, Omo Ahum, Omo Ahum. Thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch.